Masters of the Universe Revelation. Does it have the power, or is it dead on arrival? Let's talk about it. So, Masters of the Universe Revelation is a continuation of the 1983 Filmation series Masters of the Universe. Now, unfortunately, the first red flag should have been that they decanonized the 2002 Masters of the Universe series from Cartoon Network. And there's a reason for that. But we'll get into that later. So, the premise of this series is that it's supposed to pick up right where the 83 show left off. So there's a large celebration for Tila, one of the main characters in the original series, in which they basically do an exposition dump on how awesome and qualified Tila is. It's done very ham-fistedly, but it serves the purpose. So as we go through the first episode, we're basically hitting the same beats. And those beats are Skeletor, the main bad guy, is trying to take over Castle Grayskull through magic and other means. And He-Man, Prince Adam, has to save it. However, this first episode is the first and last episode that deals directly with He-Man as the main protagonist, as the series quickly turns into a show about Teela, who was previously a co-star in the series, is now bumped up to main series protagonist. Now, Masters of the Universe Revelation does some things right, but it does a lot of things wrong. The animation, beautiful. Powerhouse does an amazing job yet again. Powerhouse is the same studio behind the Castlevania Netflix series. However, a lot of the things take you out of the experience. First and foremost being the voice acting. The talent that they have for this particular series is top notch. I mean, you have Sarah Michelle Gellar, you have Mark Hamill, you have Kevin Conroy, you have various actors that are dynamic with their voices. Unfortunately, what takes place, especially in the cases of Sarah Michelle Gellar, Kevin Conroy, Lena Headey, and Mark Hamill, is that their voices don't necessarily fit the characters that they are casted as. Case in point, Sarah Michelle Gellar's Teela does not sound like Teela. It doesn't fit the character model, and it takes you completely out of the experience. It's very jarring. Mark Hamill's voice acting as Skeletor, he sounds like the Joker the entire time. He sounds like the Joker from Batman animated series. He does not sound like Skeletor. And partially this is due to the writing, and partially this is due just to, I guess, the voice direction. And there's Kevin Conroy as Merman. He sounds like Batman from the animated series. He does not sound like Merman at all. That's just a couple of examples. Lena Headey sounds like Cersei Lannister the entire series, even though she's supposed to be voicing Evil Lynn. And these are actors with dynamic ranges, so I don't really understand why the voice direction was done in such a haphazard manner so as to have them not sound like the characters that they're supposed to be voicing. So that's a problem. Next problem is the fight scenes. The fight scenes are they're not wall to wall fight scenes, but at the same time they are there in most every episode. However, they are not done to the same caliber of other series that Powerhouse has done. In particular, Castlevania. The fight scenes in this series are not very engaging. Sometimes they are, like in the first episode, they're great, but they never hit that level past the first episode. The subsequent fight scenes in the rest of the 5 episodes are nowhere near as strong as in the first episode. That's also an issue. Going forward, other things are the writing. Now, the dialogue in this is basically seems like Kevin Smith's attempt to have his cake and eat it too, in the idea that he's trying to tell a serious story, but he's trying to have the campy dialogue from the original 80s series, and that doesn't work because the way that he particularly writes makes the dialogue seem very stilted and almost in certain places robotic, and it it again takes you out of serious moments of the series. Also, for a series called Masters of the Universe, there are very few of them in the series. Most of the Masters of the Universe are not even seen, let alone speak. So if you were coming to this series wanting to see your favorite Master of the Universe, you wanted to see Ram Man or Many Faces or any of the others, or maybe some of the guys from Stake Mountain, nah, not going to happen. The cast is very small and very tight, and you do not get to see many of the Masters of the Universe. So that's an issue. Also, the pacing and the plot are not particularly done well. There are certain portions of the plot that are excellent. There's a side plot. I'm not going to spoil it, but with some of the council members from Snake Mountain and what they're doing after subsequent events, and that's done pretty well. But overall, there's not a lot going on there. The side characters are not really fleshed out very well. In particular, Andra, she's not really given a lot to do. And so she just kind of comes off as Tila's female companion, and that's pretty much it. Other characters that are done well, Orko, I feel like is done very well, although I feel like the trailers, as misleading as they are, give the impression that there will be a more serious, more intense Orko, and that's just not here. You're pretty much getting the Orko from the original series. He's the same. Eva Lynn's character is done rather well. You do get a little bit of insight into her backstory. However, again, the voice acting kind of takes away from that. Other than that, this show, the way that it was marketed and everything else, I know there's controversy behind that, but just dealing with the show as it is, the bait and switch that is given is very disrespectful. And when I say disrespectful, I don't mean the idea that having a female lead necessarily takes away from the series, but let's be clear, He-Man doesn't exist in a vacuum. We have a female counterpart to He-Man already, which is She-Ra. So the idea that now we're going to have basically two She-Ras is just absurd. Honestly, if you're a fan of Masters of the Universe, this show probably isn't for you. If you're coming into the series, there's not enough here for newcomers as far as getting you into the world of Eternia that would really make you want to continue watching this into part two. So honestly, I don't know who this show is for, but the rating that we're going to give this is going to be honestly a skip. So if you enjoyed this review, or you have comments, or you disagree, or you agree, I mean, just leave us a comment. We'll be happy to engage with you, because I mean, that's what it's all about, dialogue. Reach out to us on any of our social media platforms. We respond to all of them. And we'll see you on the next one. 8-Bit Heroes out.